A response to one of our comments. Quickly, we're going to cover a quick response to one of our comments on the video we did yesterday around Mohbad, right? You guys know who Mohbad is. Mohbad is was an artist, upcoming artist in Nigeria up to September before his untimely death. He had a history of bullies and stuff like that. Probably some of the reasons why everybody is saying no grief for anybody too, right? So some of the people that have been talking about it will continue that conversation also in the segment with Tonto Dike and them. But let me show you this, okay? All right, so yeah, that's Mohbad right there. But there's a comment that came up earlier on. I'm going to read that comment on the video. So yesterday we did a video about the father, and I asked people, when I ask you this question, I mean it. When I ask you these questions, I say, hey, do you think he has a right? Do you think he doesn't have a right? I mean these questions, and I would like you to engage some of those questions because I learned from your answers, and then, you know, I also can continue to share my thoughts around what those answers are, you know. I do want to have some of these conversations because I believe some of the mindset is one of the reasons why people struggle in relationships. Okay, you have to think about it. In many ways, we are first generational in so many ways. Like, for example, practicing this whole monogamy thing, you are either first or second generation. Your forefathers did polygamy, sorry. So it's a lot that we're still trying to figure out, and it's a lot of conditioning that goes into what we're practicing, right? So when people push against it, and they're pushing against it strictly from a place of right and wrong, I just laugh. I say, it's deeper than that, you know. But anyway, shout out to Eliza. Eliza left a comment on the video from yesterday. The title of the video, if you want to watch it later on, is called Late Mohbad's Father Reviews DNA Autopsy Test Challenges. All right. So the person said he has the right to request for the DNA. I want to know your opinion on this. Give me your answers. But he's saying, I don't know if it's he or she, he has the right to request for the DNA as the patriarchy of the Aloba family. And his son has told him some things about infidelity. Did we see that in the news anywhere? Did Mohbad suggest anything that looks like infidelity to his father? Outside of what the father said, did we see that anywhere? I'm just wondering. Anyway, under this customary marriage that they did, the patriarchy of the family has the utmost say, especially for them to be able to transfer Mohbad's properties to his son. Now, I've also noticed that a lot of people that just want to hide behind bad behavior, they continue to reference customary marriage, okay? For everything, you know. But customary marriage, if anything, will complicate your life more. It's not going to make it easier. That's the reality. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying if you continue to yield your mindset, your opinions about everything continue to yield in the direction of customary marriage, you will complicate your life more. Just go and ask people that have had the experience. You can ask Emeka Ike, when they were doing divorce, their divorce was a little bit more complicated because they did customary marriage. Customary marriage does not make things easier. It makes it opposite of that, okay? So that's something to pay attention to. So what that means is that you shouldn't just aspire to just be prepared to apply a lot more emotional intelligence when you're dealing with stuff that is being administered under the customary marriage law. You need a lot more because you're literally living in a different era. So to continue to yield back to that, your life will be a lot more complicated. So you should prepare to apply a lot more emotional intelligence, not prepare to use coconut hair to say, we no go grief for anybody. You just complicate your life more. That's all I'm saying, okay? He or she continues, there was a paternity infidelity issue on ground before the guy passed that he told his father. Okay, so if you know, I'm not really following like that. So if you're following it, please let me know. That was the reason for the fight in the car from Ikorodu to Lekki when Mohbad threatened to throw the baby and his mother out of the car, which gave his friends in the car a glimpse into it. All right. So was that something that came up at some point? Did I miss that? Please enlighten me. I beg. All right. So if they did civil wedding, then he has no right. But under customary wedding, The family has the right. Okay, he's making a good point. Let's continue. The placenta issue was even raised by Wumi at the coroner inquest, which raised Baba's antenna, not VDM, because I suggested in the video that I think Very Dark Man was the one who started the whole request for DNA thing, and then it went viral, right? So he's saying it wasn't Very Dark Man. Okay, so he buried Imole fast because the police didn't release statements to put him in the morgue. That part, I'm going to take a wild guess that's cap. Okay. Let me repeat that. He buried Imole fast because the police didn't release statements to put him in the morgue. And of course, the hospital didn't take the body for no police report. So he was forced to bury him. That doesn't add up. If this was in my village in Ondo State, maybe I would take that in. But in Lagos, no, I'm sorry.
Stop the cap.
It's not making sense. That part is not making sense. But let me continue. All right, so he was forced to bury him. It's officially on BBC interview. The wife didn't tell his father-in-law. The wife didn't tell his father-in-law that the hospital has given her death certificate so as to avoid the rushed burial. And it was during police briefing that everybody heard, including the Baba. I followed the story closely. I know y'all will come for me. This is what I mean by assumption. I know y'all will come for me for having the contract. What's y'all? Y'all is disrespectful. It's usually used when you have a hidden agenda, when you're making your point. But I'm going to give it a pass until I read the chat. Maybe some other people might agree with you. Because you were making some good points until you say, y'all will come for me. If your point is valid, why are you worried about that? Y'all will come for me for having a contrary opinion, but it's fine. That's suggesting that we don't welcome all opinions here. I take an offense to that. Okay, so the floor is always open here. I always talk to everybody. Okay, you might collect small though, but you have to be open to opinion. I collect too anyway. I just collect woto from you for no reason. What do you mean Yahweh? Right? Everybody collect now, so it's okay. But this is an assumption, and it reflects. It tampers with the credibility of everything you're saying, as a matter of fact. I know y'all will come for me for having a contrary opinion, but it's fine because that's life and I won't reply any fracas response. Peace out. All right. Shout out to Eliza. But I just want to know, I want us to dissect that to see if there's any. I think some of the points he made were valid, He just replied this literally 16 minutes ago as I was in the middle of the show. Okay. He said, man of prestige, sir, I know what I am saying because it's being turned to an online battle. It's now team this one, team that one. I don't have time for that fracas. Again, you should be able to make your submission without saying all of that. Yes, I do police how people talk because I teach social intelligence here. Okay. I try not to cry anytime I hear Mohbad'S Immortalization album, especially Weekend. So is it personal? Now you're telling on yourself, okay? It's like he wrote his autobiography starting from Malian house to pregnancy to buy. If only one listened to the lyrics simultaneously with the graphics. Now, my wife is now a big fan of Mohbad and she continues to say the same things, okay? Which is that it's like a autobiography, right? He's saying a lot of things in the song, which is sometimes that's what makes great artists too. They're telling real stories, right? I am interested in him getting justice because he worked hard, but mysteriously didn't leave to enjoy it. So that's why I said no, come for me, oh. No grief for anybody. But definitely not for you because I came to your platform to listen to you. I appreciate you, Eliza. Watch Mohbad'S Weekend album before you do the next show. Thank you. All right. You guys will continue to educate me on this issue. I will always have limited information. That's just the reality. Okay, I will always have limited information, and I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's you that you also need to be fine with that. You need to be okay with everyone will have limited information. When we're talking about people's marriages, you always have limited information. Okay, even if you are one of the parties inside of the marriage, you have limited information. You have no idea what happened in the first 18, 20, 25 years of that person's life, and you have no idea how that's going to affect the dynamics of your relationship. We all have limited information, and sometimes the way we handle life and relationships is an obsession with I know everything, I know what I'm talking about. Potentially, maybe you don't. Okay, you should always leave room that maybe there's something I don't know, and I try to demonstrate that here all the time because I want to keep an open mind. Okay, so even in life, a lot of time things might look the way it isn't, right? So now some good points there. I want to know if when they were at the coroner's hearing and stuff, if some of this stuff were valid. I'm going to go through the chat really quickly. The police people no get work. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go through that. See, this man never tired with all this speech. Oh, you're still watching. Let me see. I'm going. They are already on the defensive. I guess they have realized the power of mantras in awakening mass consciousness. You're still talking about the police? Jesus. Let me see. Ogala, the word is patriarch, not patriarchy. Oh, I'm sorry. Was the father not also playing around too? Why is he making a force? That's all the way cap. He's hiding something. That's why he buried him fast. So I want to know, he might have made a statement while they were in court during the corona quest and stuff. I want to know if anybody followed it. My question is, what is motive of the DNA? I guess he said that just in case they want to give properties, and I mentioned that yesterday, if they want to give properties and stuff like that, it's only questionable if he questioned if there's valid evidence that he questioned the paternity of his son. Okay, that's when that would be valid. Okay, the old customary marriage thing is not relevant. I don't think it's relevant in the court of law. And if there's any provisions in the customary marriage provisions that says this, I would like to know. Because it seems like everybody is quiet. They're not saying much. D-Love says, people are really passionate about the Mohbad issue and we all want justice, hence the sides being taken. At the end of the day, this man by in the wrong country and we may not get justice. I don't know what people mean by justice. I'm not sure what they're looking for. Sam Larry has been released. Naira Marley has been released because there's no real evidence that they had anything to do with his passing. If anything, there was some stuff that we don't know yet, particularly with respect to Wunmi, the wife, and one of the best friends, the one that they were in a fight together. How is this relevant to the request for DNA? That's what I want to know. And I'm still asking the question again. In customary marriage, somebody please come and corroborate Eliza's point. In customary marriages law in Nigeria, does the grandfather has a right to ask for the paternity of another man's child? I'm going to ask that question again. I'm not satisfied with the answer. The answer was filled with emotionalism. Eliza, that's for you. I need some straightforward stuff, facts, something like that. Point me to a video. The video that he told me to go and watch on the Weekend album. Did he mention something about potential paternity fraud, infidelity in it? No, not forget infidelity. Paternity fraud. It needs to be specifically paternity fraud. If he hasn't mentioned anything anywhere in his album about paternity fraud, that will be a useless quest. Okay? But if there is, let me know. I will be willing to go through it. Now, with that being said, I do want to move forward to the main topic of the day. All right, hit that like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. I will be right back.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.